So this video's on Integrated 3, Chapter 8, PowerPoint or Google Slide. So on this first problem, we are asked to factor and we have a difference of 2 cubes. So if you have a difference or a sum of 2 cubes, the formula is the following. If it's an a cubed minus b cubed, it's going to be a minus b times the quantity a squared. Remember, change the sign, so it's going to be a plus. Multiply these two together, so it's going to be AB, and then plus B squared. If you have A cubed plus B cubed, the sum of 2 cubes, it's going to be an A plus B. It's going to end up being A squared, change the sign, minus, multiply these together, AB plus B squared. So in our problem, we're going to have y is equal to x minus 2. And then x squared, change the sign, plus, multiply together. So that's going to give us a 2x, and then square your negative 2, 4. So on this one, we need to figure out what degree it is. So this is a 3, this is a 1, a 2, and a 1. So that's going to give us a 7, and it's positive, so it's a positive degree 7. So when you're looking at the degree of a polynomial, if it's an odd, positive, think of it as an increasing line. It's going to go from the bottom up. If it is an odd, negative, think of it as a decreasing line. It's going to go from the top down. If it's an even positive, think of it like a parabola. Start at the top, end at the top. If it's an even negative, think of it like an upside down parabola. It's going to start below, end below. So this one's going to be starting below, ending above, because it is going to be an odd positive. So let's find our zeros. We've got 0, which is going to be a triple. We have 1, which is a single. We have negative 3, which is a double. And we've got 5, which is a single. So I am going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's get a different color here. So I have a 0, which is a triple. I have a 1, which is a single. I've got a 5, which is a single. And I have a negative 3, which is a double. And again, it's starting below, ending above. So I'm going to come up to this double. It's going to come up and it's going to bounce back. And then my 0 was a triple. So it's going to be that kind of S. So I'm going to do it almost like it's half of an open down to half of an open up parabola. And then I'm going to have a single through 1 and a single through 5. And that's your graph. So on this one, we're going to write a polynomial in standard form. So when we're doing this, this 3, let me just get a color, it's a little different. Okay, this 3 comes from x minus 3. The negative 2 comes from x plus 2. And the 9 comes from x minus 9. So I'm going to multiply 2 of these together. So let's say that I'm multiplying these 2 together. So that's going to become an x squared minus x minus 6. That is going to be multiplying with my x minus 9. So let me get a 2 by 3 box. I'm going to have my x and my minus. Notice my minus is right in front of my 9. And I'm going to have my x squared minus x minus 6. So this is going to be x to the 3rd minus x squared minus 6x minus 9x squared plus 9x plus 54. So that's going to give me x to the third minus 10x squared plus 3x plus 54. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to divide. I'm going to use synthetic division. I'm going to put a 2 in my box here. I'm going to have a 1, and be careful. You need a 0 because you don't have an x squared. -4, 18. Bring down my 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them, get a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Add them, get a 0. 0 times 2 is 0. I add and I get an 18. Now it started as a degree 3, and now it's going to be 1 degree less. So this is going to be x squared plus 2x plus 0, but I don't need to write the plus 0. My remainder is 18. So it's going to be 18 over x minus 2. So on this one, I have a single here. That's going to be x plus 3. I have a double here. That's going to be an x minus 2 squared. I have a single here. That's going to be an x minus 5. And then I know it has to pass through this point. So I'm going to put that in for my x and y. So I'm going to have y is equal to a times x plus 3 squared. Sorry, x plus 3 times x minus 2 squared times x minus 5. And I'm going to put 0 in for x and -2 in for y. So I get -2 is equal to a times 0 plus 3 times 0 minus 2 squared times 0 minus 5. So it's -2 is equal to a times 3. I get a -2 squared, which is a 4 times -5. So I'm going to get -2 is equal to -60a. I'm going to divide by a -60. And I'm going to get a positive, which I should, because this is going up and up. And so this should be an even positive degree. So this is going to be y is equal to 2 over 60 or 1 over 30, x plus 3, x minus 2 squared, and x minus 5. So finding our zeros, I'm going to look at my p over q. My p is 4, so that's going to be a plus minus 1, 2, 4. My q is a 1, so it's just going to be positive, -1, 2, or 4. So let's get started. 1, -1, -4, 4. I'm going to start with a 1. Bring down my 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Add it to -1, 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Add it to -4, -4. -4 times 1 is -4. Add it to 4, 0. So now I'm left with x squared minus 4. And let me just write x equal 1 is one of my answers. This is going to be an x plus 2, x minus 2, difference of 2 squares. And I'm going to get a -2 and a positive 2, along with the x equal 1. So listing all possible rational roots. So this is my p, this is my q. So my p is going to be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 7. My q's are going to be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. So I need all combos. So 1 over 1 is 1. 7 over 1 is 7. 1 over 3 is 1/3. 7 over 3 is 7/3. Those are going to be my possible rational roots. So when I'm solving logs, I'm going to try to write this side as a single logarithm. So it's going to be log base 11 of 2x squared plus 4x. I'm going to be taking this 2x plus, that 2x and multiplying it with an x plus 2. Is equal to log base 11 of x plus 5. So when I have a log equal log, I'm going to take 2x squared plus 4x, set equal to x plus 5. And let's see, I'm going to minus x from both sides. So I get a plus 3x. I'm going to minus 5. And then I'm going to see about factoring this. So I've got a 2x squared and a negative 5, a negative 10x squared and a 3x. So 5x and negative 2x. So that's going to be a 2x and an x, a plus 5, a minus 2. So I'm going to get a 2x plus 5 times an x minus 2 equals 0. So I'm going to get a negative 5 halves, and I'm going to get a positive 2. Now, we want to check to make sure that we're not taking log of a negative. So when I put this negative 5 halves x into that, it is going to make it a negative. So that's not going to be an answer. When I put 2 in here, this is going to be a 4. This is going to be 4. That's okay. So x equal 2 is a solution. So I'm going to have a log for the 7, a log for the n, a log for the 2, a log for the m. So for this, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite that. That is going to be n to the 3/4. So I'm going to have log 7 plus 3/4, because that exponent is going to come in front, log of n minus log 2 minus log of m. So inverse, so I'm going to switch my x and y. So I am going to make this y equal the square root of 2 plus 3x over 5. I'm going to switch my x and y. So I'm going to have x is equal to the square root of 2 plus 3y over 5. I'm going to multiply by 5x. I am going to square both sides. So I'm going to get a 25x squared is equal to 2 plus 3y. I'm going to minus 2. And then I'm going to divide by 3. So I'm going to get 2/3 x squared minus 2/3 is equal to y. Now, really, this has a restriction. Now, when I have the original graph, it is actually a square root graph. And for that, whatever makes underneath the square root 0, which in this case is going to be a negative 3/2. So this is going to be at negative 3/2 comma 0. My inverse, let me just change colors here. My inverse is going to, if this is going from x is greater than or equal to negative 3/2, this is going to have y is greater than or equal to negative 3/2 as its restriction, because we switch our x and our y. So we should be getting 4 solutions since this is degree 4. My p over q, my p is 10, so it's going to be plus minus 1, 2, 5, 10 over my q, which is 1. So I'm going to have a 1, 1, 3, 5, negative 10. And let's say I start with 1, bring down my 1. 1 times 1 is 1, add it to 1, 2. 1 times 2 is 2, add it to 3, 5. 5 times 1 is 5, add it to 5, 10. 10 times 1 is 10, add it to negative 10, 0. So x equal 1 is an answer. Now I'm going to take my 1, 2, 5, 10 and do another synthetic division. Now for this, all of these are positive, so I am going to be not trying any of my positives. So let's say I try negative 1, bring down my 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, add it to 2, 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, add it to 5, 4. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, add it to 10, 6. Okay, so let's try negative 2. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, add it to 2, 0. 0 times negative 2 is 0, add it to 5, 5. 5 times -2 is a -10, plus 10 is 0. So I get x is equal to -2, have x is equal to 1. I am left with x squared plus 5 equals 0, which is x plus 5 halves, x minus 5 halves. So x is going to be a -5 halves, and x is equal to a positive 5 halves. So use synthetic division to show that root 7 is a 0. So I'm going to use a root 7 in my box. I'm going to have a 1, a 2, a -7, a -14. Bring down my 1. 1 times root 7 is root 7. So that's going to give me a 2 plus root 7. Now I'm just going to do some math over on the side here. So if I'm now going to take a root 7 times a 2 plus root 7, that's going to be a 2 root 7 plus root 7 times root 7 is 7. So I'm going to have a 2 root 7 plus 7. 7 is going to cancel. I get a 2 root 7. So now I'm going to have a 2 root 7 times a root 7, which is going to be a 2 times 7 or 14. And then I get a 0. So it is a 0. So this is an exponential equation with an asymptote at -10. So that means I have y is equal to a times b to the power x minus 10. I'm going to be putting 1 comma 10 in to get one equation. So let me do that up here, 1 comma 10. I'm going to get 10 is equal to a times b to the first minus 10. So I'm going to add 10. So I get 20 is equal to ab. I'm going to get this to be a equal. So I get 20 over b equals a. Now I'm going to do it. Let me just grab a different color. I'm going to do it with the other point. Okay, so then I'm going to do it with 3, -5. So I'm going to get -5 is equal to a times b to the third minus 10. Add 10. 5 is equal to a times b to the third. So now I'm going to be taking that equation, write it over here, 5 equal a times b to the third, and I'm going to be substituting 20 over b in place of a. So I'm going to have 20 over b times b to the third. My b's cancel. I get b to the second. So I have 5 is equal to 20b to the second. I divide by 20. I get 1/4 is equal to b squared. I take the square root. I get 1/2 is equal to b. Then I need to find my a. So I'm going to go y is equal to 20 over b, which is a 1/2. And 20 divided by 1/2 is a 40. So I'm going to have y is equal to well, and let me, sorry, this wasn't y equal, this was a equal. Because I was using this equation up here. Okay, I just erased the circle. Let me get it back up here. So I'm looking at this equation here for a. And so a is going to be 20. Let me get rid of this. 20 divided by 1/2, and 20 divided by 1/2 is a 40. So I'm going to have y is equal to 40 times my b, which is 1/2 to the power x minus 10. And that's your equation. And that's the end of this video.